It was the story of a lovely lady and a man named Brady that became one of the most iconic sitcoms in television history. But beneath the matching outfits, catchy theme song, and squeaky-clean smiles, the Brady Bunch had its fair share of chaos, drama, and just plain weirdness. Here are 10 strange and surprising facts that even the biggest Brady fans may have missed. You might think you know the Bradys, 6 kids, 1 dog, and a lot of family-friendly fun. But did you know about the real-life on-set feuds, the mysterious disappearance of Tiger the dog, or the time Marcia Brady almost landed a Spielberg movie and blew it? Stick around because the last fact and the bonus will blow your bell-bottoms off. Number 10, Greg Brady and the boat scene that almost sank. In the free-spirited 1970s, Barry Williams, known as Greg Brady, lived every teenage boy's fantasy. He had fame, fans, and feathered hair that could part traffic. At just 16, he was America's heartthrob, but being a teen idol had its, let's say, temptations. One lazy afternoon, Barry decided to unwind in the era's style. Let's call it recreational relaxation. You know the kind. Everything was chill until the phone rang. Urgently. It was the studio. They needed him back on set immediately. He showed up late, glassy-eyed, unsteady, and far from camera-ready. It didn't take long for the cast and crew to notice something was off. The episode in question was Law and Disorder, and Greg's big scene involved talking about a boat with his dad, Mike Brady. But when Barry staggered across the Brady driveway, his walk was too wobbly to ignore. His lines were flat, his timing off. The producers went into emergency mode. They quietly rewrote the script to scale down Greg's role, trimming scenes so they could shoot around his condition. Johnny Bravo, it turns out, wasn't quite hitting his marks that day. This wasn't just a funny behind-the-scenes mishap. It reflected the tightrope that many young stars walked in that era. Fame without guidance. Pressure without pause. Barry eventually wrote about the incident in his memoir, owning up to the mistake with honesty and humor. But it remains one of the weirdest moments in Brady Bunch production history. Number 9. Cindy's blonde hair wasn't really Cindy's. And speaking of behind-the-scenes sacrifices, let's talk about Cindy Brady, played by Susan Olsen. Audiences loved her blonde pigtails and lisp. But here's the twist. Susan was naturally blonde, just not the correct shade. Producers didn't think her hair was light enough, so they bleached it regularly throughout season 1 to match their Golden Girl vision. But the harsh chemicals caused significant damage. By season 2, Susan's hair began falling out in clumps. Alarmed, the producers finally relented. They stopped bleaching and let her wear her natural color. It was a rare moment when concern for a child actor's health overruled the Hollywood aesthetic. That's just one of many times the Brady Bunch blurred the line between the polished perfection of television and the very human flaws behind it. Take casting, for example. Number 8. Gene Hackman. Almost played Mike Brady. Before Robert Reed became the quintessential TV dad, producers had another name on the table, Gene Hackman. Yes, that Gene Hackman. At the time, Hackman was a respected but relatively unknown character actor. The producers thought he had the acting chops to play Mike Brady, but the network wasn't sold. Executives believed he didn't have the family-friendly face for a sitcom dad. So they passed. Instead, they tapped Robert Reed, a Shakespearean actor under contract with the studio. Ironically, Reed hated the part. He constantly battled the producers over what he saw as the show's shallow writing and cartoonish plots. So the network got its familiar face, but at the cost of nearly constant creative tension. Number 7. The disappearance of Tiger. And while talking about heartbreaks, let's not forget Tiger, the beloved Brady family dog. Audiences adored Tiger, but few know his fate. During the filming of an episode, Tiger's trainer let him out to stretch his legs between takes. In a tragic twist, the dog was hit by a passing car and killed instantly. The show didn't stop filming. The trainer quickly found a look-alike to replace him, but the substitute dog had no training and couldn't follow commands. The result? Several chaotic scenes later, Tiger quietly vanished from the series without a word. No emotional farewell, no storyline explanation, just gone. Number 6. Baby talk, came from real life. One of the most memorable lines from the show wasn't even scripted. It came from real life. Baby talk, it's a wonder you can walk. That taunt comes from the episode in which Cindy is bullied for her lisp. Viewers didn't know that Susan Olsen had a real, noticeable lisp. The writers decided to build an entire episode around it. In the story, Peter steps in to defend his little sister and ends up with a black eye. It's one of the most touching moments in the show's run, turning a childhood insecurity into a story of sibling courage and love. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, go ahead and tap that like button. We've got more retro deep dives and TV nostalgia coming your way. Now back to the Bradys. Number 5. The original Jan, replaced for not being blonde. Casting changes were nothing new on the Brady Bunch. Initially, Sherwood Schwartz had cast Debbie Storm as Jan Brady. But then came the decision to unify the look of the 3 Brady sisters, all blonde, all American. So Storm was out, and Eve Plum was brought in. Still, Schwartz didn't leave Storm completely out in the cold. She was cast in the Season 2 episode My Fair Opponent as Molly Weber, the shy, awkward girl transformed into a beauty. It was a clever nod to what might have been had she remained Jan. Number 4. Florence Henderson. Accidentally walked into Star Trek. In a moment that could only happen in 1970s, Hollywood, Florence Henderson wandered into the wrong makeup room before her screen test. She sat between 2 science fiction legends, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Yep, she had accidentally crashed Star Trek's prep room. She recalled that neither Shatner nor Nimoy acknowledged her presence, too wrapped up in their universe. Little did they know, the woman quietly doing her lipstick would soon become America's most iconic mom. Number 3. Robert Reed. Thought the show was beneath him. Robert Reed, however, had a far less warm relationship with the show. Reed was trained in classical theater and saw the Brady Bunch as beneath his talents. He frequently clashed with creator Sherwood Schwartz, even submitting handwritten notes about lines he thought were too goofy or unrealistic. Schwartz ignored most of them. Still, Reed's desire for more serious content did help add occasional depth to the show. He wasn't wrong, the scripts could be silly, but his resistance also created ongoing tension behind the scenes. Number 2. Lucy, the party host. Was also Lucy from Peanuts. Some references were subtle Easter eggs. Remember Lucy, the girl who hosted the party where Jan was wearing that ridiculous black wig? Pamela Ferdin played her, as well as Lucy's voice, in the Peanuts animated specials. Naming her character Lucy was no coincidence. It was an inside joke for animation fans and a wink to those who knew her voice. Number 1. Moren McCormicks struggles behind the smile. Let's talk about the most famous Brady of all, Marcia. Moren McCormicks seemed to embody everything audiences wanted in a beautiful, smart, polished teenage girl. But the honest Maureen was battling intense anxiety and self-doubt behind the scenes. After the show ended, she struggled with substance abuse and depression. She later revealed that she missed a crucial audition with Steven Spielberg for Raiders of the Lost Ark because she was too high to attend. The contrast between Marcia's perfection and Maureen's pain was a stark reminder of the pressure young stars face. Bonus fact: the rumor about Greg and Carol. And finally, the bonus fact you didn't see coming: the Barry Williams-Florence Henderson rumor. For years, gossip swirled that something inappropriate had happened between the young actor and his on-screen mom. Williams eventually admitted he had a massive crush on Henderson and invited her to dinner once. She accepted, thinking it would be a fun, harmless evening. And that's all it was, but the tabloids spun it into something far more scandalous. Henderson laughed it off for the rest of her life, calling it the dinner that launched 1,000 headlines. So there you have it, 10 weird and wild facts that reveal. The Brady Bunch wasn't as squeaky clean as it seemed. Behind the matching outfits and groovy tunes were struggles, secrets, and scandals that make the show even more fascinating today. Which fact surprised you most? Drop a comment below and let's talk Brady drama. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more forgotten gems from classic TV.